But today I want to talk about the most important ingredient for the success of your business and your career, because the one thing that you lack is confidence. Confidence in yourself to be able to deliver the results that your patients need. You secretly struggle with feelings of not feeling good enough, as well as not knowing enough, as well as like just the insecurity of, oh my gosh, who am I to help this person, right? And so you go to this imposter syndrome, and then you have all the angst over not feeling good enough, and that perpetuates and that kind of manifests into your clients recognizing exactly what that looks like, and they don't want to do business with you for that reason. And you're afraid to charge the money. I can tell you, I charge top dollars for my services, but I did it that way because I lead with my confidence in knowing that I don't tell my patients it's all my degrees that's going to heal you. It's my personal experience. I know when the rubber meets the road, what they need. And what they need isn't more knowledge from me to tell them what to do. It's the shift that needs to occur on the inside. It's navigating bad marriages or fights with their spouses or perpetuating factors or that thought patterns that they have to work through. It's a lot of coaching. So you have to prime their mind and body to receive the healing. And because healing's an inside job, no matter what, no amount of knowledge that you have will change and transform your patients, is why I want you to step into being a powerful health mentor, not just a powerless health technician who is taught to do the thing that the institution wants you to do, even if it's not serving them in the way that they need. Now, if you're here, you're so frustrated with your industry and you know there's a lack. You may be a yoga teacher. You may be a medical doctor. You may be a meditation specialist or transcendental meditation, all of which I have certifications in. But unless you know how to put it all together in the context of the lives, and when things, like I say, when crap hits the fan, you know how to navigate your life to kind of live the solution and dance with what life gives you and put things in perspective, you'll never win enough to know exactly what you want to create in your life, right? So again, today is all about the most important ingredient to success of your business and career is your confidence. And it's you knowing, inner knowing, right? And it's your commitment to yourself. So before I go any further, this is your time. So I really want you to shut any browsers. There is no multitasking allowed. I want you to shut off your phone or silence your phone. I want you to close your door, and I want you to be all here with me for this hour. Because one, you deserve this time. And two, it's like you owe it to yourself to be attentive, because this is going to be life-changing information that you'll be hearing if you really hear me, okay? Hearing and making interpretations, right? There's a listening and then there's a hearing. Hearing is biological, you hear things. Listening is really listening to me as psychological. So I really want your mind and body to be here to truly listen to what I'm saying, okay? And I just want to tell you that my being, the way I was being in my life changed when I turned into me, right? Truly stepped into being me. I no longer am insecure about what I believe. I believe what I believe wholeheartedly. I know what works. I know what doesn't. I know what I know. I know what I don't know. And the truth is, life happens in the gray zone. And even if I've been seeking the scientific research in all of my respective fields, which include psychology, nutrition, physical medicine, functional medicine, energy medicine, TCM, traditional Chinese medicine, and all the diets and all the techniques in between, including yoga, I know that there's always a gray zone and nothing is absolute in life, right? And so I'm learning to dance with what is and love what is. My education in psychology, nutrition, physical medicine, functional medicine, yoga, Pilates, energy medicine, all kept me from putting it all together, because every single one of those disciplines wanted me to be dogmatically applying that information as if to drink their Kool-Aid And if I didn't wholeheartedly, then I was ostracized. Okay. The key answer was in putting it all together. And that takes courage. And I've come before you. I've paved the way. I know what works and I know what you need. And my ability to transform my patients goes way beyond teaching yoga. It's not just about exercise. It's not about toning down the belly, etc. It goes deeper into their limiting beliefs and the identities that they hold for themselves at the root level. And when I connect the dots, I gain their trust at a whole different level because I'm able to shift their perspective. You know that that's what's required for you to transform the lives that you serve. Ultimately, it's not just teaching yoga. It's not just practicing functional medicine. It's not just giving nutritional advice. Advice can only go so far. It has to translate into the being part of who they are. It's not about what you do. It's who you are in doing what you do, and then how you communicate what it is that you do. Egocentric versus client focused is the shift you must make. Because when we're insecure, full of self-doubt, we're very egotistical, meaning we put so much self-importance on ourselves, right? And then it becomes all about me, my degrees, and fighting against what it is, as opposed to truly wanting to help the person that you want to help. And so you really have to shift. You really have to raise your awareness and consciousness to be able to get to that level. And as I mentioned, most of us hide behind the degrees and titles, but we live in a world where we no longer need to wait to be chosen. We have all the platforms out there. We have social media now. You can speak your mind about anything. And we can choose ourselves and make our convictions and beliefs known. And I do that every week through my podcasts and speak my mind about a lot of things, right? And that's how some of you guys found me as well. Because when I was growing up, we didn't have the connections that we have today, right? We now can communicate with a press of button like this, and then I can reach all of you all over the world. So please share with me where you guys are tuning in from so that I know, and you'll see it's like a lot of people from Canada. We have students in New Zealand, Singapore. I am so humbled sometimes that we can reach that people, and we're building a community that's worldwide based. And that's really humbling because prior to that, 2 years ago, before COVID, we were just in Swanee, Georgia, and all the neighboring cities or towns. And that's all we had. If you didn't live close, then that was it. But now we have all these things that we've created. And that's what I want to share with you today. Okay. And today I get to stand for what I truly believe, but too many of you don't know what you believe. You believe just what you were taught. But what if what you've been taught is all wrong and they miss the mark? It's not the whole picture, right? So when I was at RD studying to be a registered dietitian, late 90s, fat-free was all the rage, right? Everything was fat-free. Load the foods up with high fructose corn syrup. It was super sweet. So high carb, fat-free was all the rage, which caused an epidemic in obesity and diabetes, you and I both know. Now where are we? All about keto, all about paleo, Whole30, etc. But if you learned anything during our time together this week, it's that it's not about the ingredients or the pieces of the puzzle. What if the pieces of the puzzle are only relevant in making the whole puzzle come together? We need all of it, you guys, and your patients need all of it. They need a way to move safely. They need a way to connect with their breath. They need a way to silence their mind. They need a way to coach themselves through their monkey brain, as well as they need clarity in what foods work for them and what foods don't. They need ideas on why certain supplements at certain times that they should be taking and why they should get adjusted by a chiropractor. All the things that we need. But number one thing is you want to empower them from inside out so that they get to tune in to the receptors and the signaling that they have command over. It's not something that we can do for them. We can't do the healing for them, right? Because we're limited in our ability, right? We're only responsible for ourselves. Clinically, the way you practice needs to shift and change in order for you to make an impact. When you make significant impact in the lives of your clients, making a lucrative income becomes a no-brainer, right? It becomes super fun, you guys. But we can't just sit back and hope for the clients to knock on our doors. You have to go get them. And it's almost like you have a moral obligation to spread the word, to give them the solution that they need, not shy away from it. Because shying away from it and scared to make a sale is like being egocentric. Like, I'm not worthy. Like, I can't talk about selling. I'm not in sales. But guess what, you guys? If you're not in sales, you might as well just hang your certificate and go and do something else. Because you are in sales. Sales and marketing is absolutely necessary. You're selling every day. You're selling your ideas. You're selling your discipline. You're selling parenting to your kids, spouse, convincing. Everything is about persuasion, you guys. It's all about your relevance and your standpoint and why patients should do something. It's all convincing. Those are all sales strategies deeply ingrained, because you get them to shift their perspective in a different way. Then you've got their attention and you become their trusted advisor. And that's ultimately what we want, because people are willing to pay money for that. So they need all the help they can get, but they need real profound help to shift them on the inside, not to just do what everybody else does at the superficial level, because I think people are really tired of it. I know you are too, right? Gone are the days where we can rely on the jobs or certifications to bring patients to us. As I said, within each of your professions, you're quickly becoming a commodity. And do you know what a commodity is? Commodity is a basic good used in commerce that is interchangeable with other goods of the same type. So if I'm a physical therapist, what makes me different from that physical therapist? Like, I have my own practice and I can do the same thing. And it's the coding, right? I do therapeutic exercise, manual therapy. We all do the same thing, trigger point dry needling, all those things. Skills are there, but another physical therapist does the same thing, unless we think outside the box. So as long as I put the hat of physical therapy on, I'm going to be a physical therapist, and I'm not different from another physical therapist. That's what I mean by powerless technician, right? When you become a commodity, price war ensues and drives the prices down, right? And that's what you see in healthcare. And that's what happened in the healthcare industry. You must stand apart from the rest, and it's not as hard as you think. This is exactly what we do in functional yoga medicine certification program. We provide you with a clear path framework to utilize in your clinical practice to ensure that you deliver results. What you do is only a small part of the bigger picture, right? The alkaline method provides you with the recipe for success to put it all together finally and make sense of the whole. And this unique methodology finally integrates the whole body within a framework to finally be able to apply in a cohesive, strategic way that is profoundly impactful. Think of your own lives, you guys. You've been busy doing all the things that you believed would get you to another level, but all the doing requires more doing. And knowledge really is one that just really causes a lot of chaos up here and confusion. And it really, when your mind is confused, it gets paralyzed. It doesn't do anything, right? It doesn't really produce the results you need financially, emotionally, physically, or otherwise. And that's because nobody in school teaches us to be first before we can do, right? For example, smokers smoke because they are smokers at the identity level, right? Non-smokers, like I didn't wake up smoking, you didn't wake up smoking because you're a non-smoker. Non-smokers don't smoke because they are non-smokers. It's hard to do who we are not. All right. So if you're not getting the success you desire in your life and career, it's because you're not being the person you need to be to create the life, health, and career that you desire. In fact, you don't even know what that looks like. So this is the challenge. You have to start thinking about what that looks like, because you have a blank canvas. You get to paint and create whatever it is that you want. By virtue of what you do, as I said, you're an entrepreneur creating solutions that didn't exist before. I've made it super easy, though, for you to learn from my mistakes, because I made a lot of mistakes and I spent tons of money and I spared no expense, and I still don't spare any expenses. I spent so much time and money on healing and educating myself, thinking that answers were always outside of me. If only I can get that certification, this certification, that knowledge base. It wasn't until I was able to integrate all my knowledge in a cohesive framework called the FYM methodology that I teach within the functional yoga medicine certification program that I began to transform my life, health, and career. And that's what I'm implementing through my patient care that's transforming the lives that we touch. And it's very edifying. I now have a clear vision, focus, drive, and I'm committed to evolving as a human being. Being the best version of myself, as cliche as it sounds, is what this work allows you to do. You no longer are bound by rules and regulations. You start to step into the truth of who you are and begin being the person you want to be right now by using this methodology that gets you to be aligned at the root core of your being. This is not just some woo-woo methodology. It's one that transforms lives and have you connect with your clients at a whole different level, at a level that transcends our human understanding and limitations. That's what your people need. There's trust, vulnerability, transparency, integrity, connection, and compassion that supersedes what you have your patients or clients do, right? That's the super important factor that's going to drive your business at a whole different level. Many health promoting practitioners lack the business acumen. This is true. And they lack the acumen required to run a successful business. Many shut down when talking about sales and marketing, and this happens every time. But the truth is, without a successful sales and marketing strategy, you'll never be able to create a successful business. And this is just the hard truth. And learn how you can begin to think like sales and marketing ninja and shift your limiting beliefs about money and wealth so that you can leverage your knowledge to create a lucrative business that supports you and your family for life. Because if you're not able to do that, why do you do what you do? That should be the number one priority, because you've got to take care of yourself, right? Making money is part of building your career. In fact, many of you, when choosing your career, you were likely looking at job security, income levels, and perhaps even the benefits. This technician way of thinking used to work in the past, but this is the very foundation of schools. Indoctrination in the industrial age was to train technicians, right? Repeat, rinse, and repeat. We needed factory workers. So that's what exactly school served as, right? It's the masses, and then keep them all together like herd mentality, follow directions. That was all that was required. In school, we're taught what, how, when. We aren't asked to think critically about world problems and solve them. Worldwide epidemics, pandemics, etc., are left for the government or higher level organizations to figure out. Look what's happening today, right? You have to step up, you guys. You have to know what it requires of you. Today, our world is very different, you would agree. My teenagers' minds and brains are developing far faster than I ever did because they are exposed to so much more. There's social media influencers and bloggers that, again, has no training and who are being endorsed by big name brands just because of popularity, right? TV commercials are a thing of the past. Even movie theater experience has changed forever post-COVID. Last year, we all experienced a life-altering pandemic, which further placed pressure on us to figure things out. My practice today, my wellness practice in Suwanee, Georgia, looks very differently today, and I think about my business very differently. And my business and my ability to scale and grow my business looks entirely different from what it was a year ago. And if we don't wake up to the new way of being, we will be left behind. Yet there are many who choose to put their heads down and hope for the best with their fingers crossed and hope that they can go back to the way things were. It's not. Gone are the days. We've already transitioned. There's going to be a life post-COVID and it looks very different. You have to wake up. If you're here listening to me, I know you're different. You're the misfits, change makers, risk takers who are ready to stand for what you believe. You understand the deeper need of your clients, and that's all the expertise or that you understand that all the expertise, knowledge, or the certifications only enhance the organization that trained you. It's a broken system where they keep us small by regulating, conforming, and keeping us complacent within the scope, again, dictated by the interest of the entity, not the patient or you. The key is in your uniqueness, whatever background you bring. You have to go into that inner knowing. You must come back to the root of who you are. You have to know who you are and learn to cultivate deep self-love, stop the cycle of self-betrayal to fit in, and bring your core self to the work that you do. You're the missing ingredient, you guys, your confidence in exactly knowing who you are. This means start to think about what it is you want your business or career to stand for, what impact do you want to make, what purpose do you want to make, and really ponder, why am I here, right? How much money do you want to make? What kinds of clients do you want to serve? How do you spend your days, Monday through Friday? Or do you take weekends off? Or do you take Mondays off? I don't know. What does your day look like? What does your ideal work day look like? Who do you see, right? How much do you want to work? Is it 5 hours a day, 3 hours a day? What are your core values, right? Forget who you think you are, because you've been living a life that's externally referenced all this time. What nonprofit do you want to support when you're successful? What cause is important to you? How do you want to contribute to solving world problems? Because you can't do any of this if you're staying small. You forget your inner power so much so that you've stayed in conformity, seeking, searching, and desperately wanting to do work that matters. I know deep within you that you want to change the world. You want to play a role in making this world a little better because you played part, right? This is the kind of movement that I'm talking about. We talked about making a movement, right? The lone follower. And then it's like we look to at other people, and we're scared and timid to kind of stand out until we do, right? This movement has already begun, right? And this is the movement that we have begun, because when a yoga teacher learns the modern functional medicine piece of the puzzle and it applies it to her work with clarity, focus, she becomes a category of one. When an MD is able to really teach their patients yoga and bring that into the mix, that becomes a category of one. When a nutritionist is able to incorporate proper exercise to get rid of low back pain, now she's stepping bounds and she becomes different because she's able to tie it all together. Do you see my point? When a medical doctor or physical therapist chooses to address the inner subconscious identity that sets the foundation for transformation, and you're able to clearly convey the message, you set yourself apart from the rest, right? So I want you to understand, we've been talking about this. I showed you the diagram. Health, wealth, and relationships are what drives human behavior. And this is the motivating factors. The problem is that most of us have a dysfunctional relationship with ourselves, so much so that we live our lives limited by limiting beliefs that keep us stuck in the cycle of mediocrity. We want to earn more, do more, be more, but no matter what we do, we live at the mercy of circumstances, right? Oh, but I gotta pay the bills. Oh, but I'm a mom of two. I'm a single mom. My husband travels so much. We have all the circumstantial evidence as to why we're stuck, but those are just your limiting beliefs that you're choosing to hold on to. So the part of the work is to really recognize what's holding you back, to really lift them up so that you can be liberated again. Key is to recognize that you're not your thoughts, that you're the creator of your thoughts. Take your power back, you guys. The shift from disempowered health technician who do the same thing that you've been taught just because that's all you know, versus finally realizing that your clients and patients want somebody who will feed it to them straight and become powerful health mentors, and just really transition from passive role of telling them what to do versus really making them see and then shift their perspective forever. Working from the model, right? That healing is an inside job is the shift you must make. This is not something that is being taught in school or institutions or any certifications. Most programs focus on dogmatic ways, and when we approach healing in this way, we severely limit our ability to make true impacts. Wanting to make a sound income is great. There's no shame in that, you guys. But what are your beliefs about money? Is it that you grew up on the wrong side of the track? Money is hard to come by. Money is evil. What are some of the relationships that you have or beliefs that you hold about money? How do you see yourself as a founder, CEO of your business or a professional? Because you're certainly a CEO of your own life. And many of you guys don't recognize that. How much money would you want to make, right? Like talking about money might make you feel uncomfortable, and see what triggers you deep within, right? Right. I want you to think about the money you want to make and times that by 10, right? If you wanted to make $100,000 as a yoga teacher, times that by 10. $1 million a year. How does that make you feel? What comes up? And it's in addressing those things that come up and then shifting into a higher awareness to say, $1 million doesn't seem far-fetched. $1 million now becomes 10 million. 10 million becomes 100 million. The limits of your mind is what's keeping you small, you guys. But with the scalability, impossible becomes impossible. And really, that's the work. That's the healing work from within for you, for your life and your business, as well as how you're serving your patients. The limiting beliefs that come up is what we must tackle to break the barriers that keep you small. And that's the fun work. So as I said, the first element of the alkaline methodology is timeless wisdom. As part of the first pillar is yoga under timeless wisdom. Okay. And yoga, by definition, stands for your opportunity for growth and abundance. You must believe in the possibilities first before you can create it. This is the secret of success. You must be who you need to be first and step into being without doubt and believe and commit right away and get to it without doubting, right? And that's key to success. We need our 4 fundamental elements of the alkaline method to be whole. And in the default state of being, we sort of like fall to the wayside and really adopt the habitual pattern of not good enough, can't do this, outside the scope, that's breaking the regulations. And we try so hard to keep ourselves small. And all institutions are designed in this way, right? So the alkaline methodology has 4 essential elements. And under each of the elements, there are 3 pillars. And the alkaline methodology, the way you'll be taught to apply it in the patient is a little different. I have the alkaline methodology for practitioners, and that involves the 4 essential elements. First one being is timeless wisdom. And under timeless wisdom, there's yoga, your opportunity for growth and abundance. And then there is the energy medicine, the chakra and meridians, as well as there is the meditation and silence of working with the inner workings of your mind, right? Second element of the alkaline methodology is transformational psychology. Within that realm, there's a subconscious mind, conscious mind, and each of these needs to be shifted from what's learned and false and limited to something that is liberating and true to your core. And that exploration alone is why it's transformational, right? So subconscious mind, conscious mind is the second pillar. The third pillar is you working with the subconscious reprogramming for your clients, as well as the conscious mind, and then learning all the tools to mentor and coach them. So you need the tools to be able to get them through that transformational journey is the transformational psychology element of the alkaline methodology. The third element is the modernized functional medicine. I've reviewed this yesterday as well. I've kind of broken down into 3 essential pillars as well. We call this the SGIB model. First one being stress to brain, which is the HPA axis, hypopituitary adrenal axis, that influences all the endocrinological system, all the hormones in the body. Second is gut brain, which is enteric nervous system, gut as your second brain, as well as the third component, third pillar is immune brain. And I also refer to this as psychoneuroimmunology, and how that impacts inflammation. Once you understand these three essential pillars, you've got the modernized functional medicine down, because you'll learn how to apply the supplements, the diets, and how it lines up so that you don't limit your patients, because food is not the enemy. What's more important is the intention by which you eat the food, right? Your mindfulness is much more important. So the intuitive eating is taught, much more important. And soundless, timeless principles are taught with respect to eating. The last element of the alkaline methodology that we focus on within our training system is business mastery. And I do believe that you really need to know sales and marketing, how to sell and how to speak the language, how to convince, and how to utilize the NLP techniques, which is neuro-linguistic programming, to get in the heads of your patients, because they're not logical, they are illogical and highly emotional. And how do you speak to them to change their lives, to buy into what you're trying to say and shift their perspective from what was when they were stuck and suffering unnecessarily, to pull them out, to really be liberated and to be healed is what you have. So that power is to you, right? Second component is program development. Do you want to sell online services? How do you do telemedicine? How do you provide classes, memberships? What does that look like? Program development is something that you have to be really, really clear about in knowing. And that goes back to you wanting to know, okay, how many hours a week do you want to be working? And what does your day in the life look like? And how much money? Based on those goals that you have, you create a program to offer to the world to really provide the results and the value that you deliver, right? The third thing that we talk about really is systems and processes, because without systems and processes, you'll always be repeating the same thing, wasting a lot of time. I'm all about automation and really having predictable outcomes and performance or key performance indicators. All the terminology that you speak about in business that is like so complicated, I distill it down so you understand exactly what that looks like. So once you have that, you gain the vision, you gain the focus, the drive, and the evolution and continual growth in your life to always be growing, right? One of the marvels of the world is the sight of a soul sitting in prison with a key in its hand. Rumi said it, our poet, the soul of Rumi. Think about it. You right now, think about you. One of the marvels of the world is the sight of a soul sitting in prison with a key in its hand. So it's almost like you have a box over your head with the directions on the outside, and you don't know enough to put that box on the outside and actually read the label or the directions to finally be able to be free. Unlock the door, get out of prison, you guys. Our FYMCP now is open, okay? Coaching, training, the right infrastructure, the system and implementation is all included. And our program really does fill the gap in the market. It's a clear identity shift in each and every one of you that is required. Okay, you need direction. You need to put it all together, making you get clear on your vision, and more importantly, hold to your vision. Less about the techniques, it's more about you. We rewrote the story in our industry, bringing together the powerful tools and assets I created in the method that allows you to really level up your game. I want to make financial freedom accessible to you so that you can impact more lives and not shy away and stop being so small. And I just want to tell you right now, kind of go over exactly what this entails for those of you, because this is going to be a very different way that you think about your business, okay? So here's the perspective, right? I told you, I don't know if I've kind of really gone through this, but all the years of education right now, it's only $10,000, and this price will be going up, right? The subject of study for me that I've gotten, bachelor's level psychology, it took me 4 years. The cost of bachelor's degree, $50,000. I got my master's degree in public health, became an RD. It took 2 years, it was also $50,000 because it was private school. And I got my doctorate in physical therapy, became a licensed physical therapist. It took 3.5 years. It took over $100,000. And I got board certified through the Institute of Functional Medicine. I became FYMCP. It took me 7 to 10 years, $30,000, not including the travel expenses. YTT, 200 and 500 hour. I'm now EFAR 500 hour. It took me 2.5 years, $7,000. And then I became nationally certified Pilates instructor, which took 2 years, $10,000, because I went through 2 different separate programs. All the continuing education in over 20 years that include craniosacral therapy, all the manual therapies, trigger point dry needling, energy medicine, acupuncture, all the things that I learned, $30,000. And then business coaching is what really, really held me under, because I still get coaching through business because business is something that interests me. Total investment, you guys, 30 years, $667,000 is what it took, right? So I'm offering you to learn from my mistakes. Leverage over 30 years of my knowledge in just a year, right? It's $667,000 for only $10,000. That's the cost of the program. 30 years for only 1 year, right? Your investment is only $10,000. You guys, this is a one-time special bonus. This price is not true, and which Leslie will explain, but we're having this available until end of the day tomorrow. But you have to communicate this with Leslie. It's only if you pay in full. So this is just select amount of you. But really, you'll learn a little bit more with the link that Leslie will be dropping here. And your investment will be about 5 to 10 hours a week for about a year. It's a year-long program. And then you can break down different modules within that year. Most of my people do the full spectrum, the full 4 modules that it comes with. You can, I guarantee you, double, triple, or 10 times your current income in 5 years. The lifetime ROI, return on investment, can be over $1 million, seriously, that it will pay you back. Minimum of just for a $10,000 investment, right? So practitioners typically make working conventionally, like nutritionists, RDs, and coaches, probably about at best $90 to $120 a year. You guys are exchanging dollar for hour, and you have to put in the hour of work to get paid, right? MD, holistic doctors, nurses, and psychologists, it's $499 to $650 per visit. Rehab professionals, $50 to $179 per visit. Health and wellness, $25 to $70 per class or personal session. That's how you get paid, right? So autoimmune health transformation is a year-long program. Right now, I'm charging $7,200 to $12,000 for a year-long program, depending on the level that they choose. And then the monthly alkaline transformation method is $299 a year. These are all the programs that I currently have, right? And then I also offer alkaline detox protocol. These are all programs that I have already developed. It's $24.95 and it's all done for you. There's health supplements. We probably average about $1,000 to $5,000 a month. And then the virtual yoga, it's like $4,900 per month, right? And then brick and mortar yoga, it's the yoga studio that we have per month, unlimited classes, $119 a month, right? And so when you look at it, it's like $20,000 to $225,000 a month before COVID, right? We're now building it back up post-COVID, but that's where we were. The math adds up really, really fast when you're starting to see what's possible for you, right? Business and entrepreneurship requires innovation. Business of innovation, or are you in the business of justification, is a question I want you to ask yourself. Because the quality of your life is a direct correlation with the questions that you ask yourself. Remember, I told you, when you're asking questions of solving problems, big world problems, as opposed to limiting beliefs and like really asking yourself negative questions, that's the difference, right? If you look to the left, you're always asking, why can't I make more money? They can't do that. It's so frustrating. Why do I suck at this? Why am I so unlucky? Why is life so unfair? Why aren't patients getting better? Well, when will I be chosen to be on that article, right? You're waiting to be chosen, victim mindset. Versus, What's her or his success strategy? I want to emulate that. How can I make this work? Who am I? What matters to me? What goals can I achieve? And what thoughts can I think? And what actions can I actually take to make this happen? Then your brain goes to work to create that solution, right? It's the difference in the way you think about it, right? So the powerful entrepreneur healer is one who stands for what they believe, is a leader, is in constant business of innovation. It's always improving and asks questions. They are leveraged, aligned, preeminent, consistent, and disciplined. And a struggling health entrepreneur is always stressed, overwhelmed, anxious, fearful, insecure, and egocentric. It is like everybody else, like low-hanging fruit. And that's why I want you to elevate yourselves, right? Because I have a business coach. I don't know if you've heard of him. He's a big renowned business coach in my field, Jay Abraham. He has so many books, genius of a marketer. He talks about how there are 3 ways to improve revenue in any business. Number 1 is to increase the number of clients, get more new prospects into paying customers. Number 2 is to increase the average transaction, get each client to buy more at each purchase. 3 is to increase the frequency that the average client buys from you and get each customer to buy from you more often. So these are the 3 ways that you can increase and up-level your sales. You have to understand the concepts here, right? Business entrepreneurship is like riding a bike, right? Can't learn how to make impact from knowledge. You can't read about it in a book. You have to actually do it and fail at it. And really, failure is a currency to success. You have to be willing to risk it all. But in this program, you don't have to risk it because I've already done all the risk, right? You and your clients need transformation because degrees and certs teaches you how to ride the bike, but not actually to ride the bike on flat and rough terrain, right? Really, the degrees and certs teaches you how to ride the bike, but it doesn't tell you how to fall and what to do when you do fall, what to do when you run over a pebble, what to do when you're going uphill. You need a lot of mental resilience and focus to be able to stay the course. So practical tools, right? What you actually need, practical tools that actually matter are right under your nose and are not taught in school. It's application from failures, asking questions. Hindsight is 2020. Continued education. I want you to leverage my expertise and knowledge through the FYM methodology. I have a complete program. And I believe you have to learn how your brain works. And it's got 3 parts of the brain. It's got the mind. It's got 1 mind, but 3 brains, right? So at the base, it's the basal ganglia brainstem, right? That's the reptilian brain. It's the instinctive fight or flight response. And that's the illogical brain that runs everything, right? It's the program system. And then we've got the limbic system. It's the mammalian brain. It's somatosensory and emotional experience, and it's implicit in its memory. That's the mid-tier. We're highly emotional. And then there's the neo, prefrontal cortex, which is intellectual. It's highly analytical and it's very conscious and self-aware. But we don't make decisions from that place. We make decisions based on our brainstem, primitive brain. So what I've done in this program is I got really fascinated by the east to the west, right? We have all the things. We have the chakras and how that lines up with our spinal cord, right? We've got the spirituality. We have the relationship to God or Taoism, universal source up at the top. And that's the 7th chakra. But then I also juxtaposed it into plexus and glands in both the Eastern as well as the Western medicine. That's where the carotid, carotid plexus and pineal gland reside up here, right? And then there is the pineal gland, pituitary gland, which also is the 6th chakra, which is intuition, wisdom, and creative intelligence. And then communication at the throat is pharyngeal plexus, thyroid, parathyroid plexus, which also regulate metabolism and calcium regulation, right? And then there is the giving and receiving of the love in the heart chakra, which is also correlates with cardiac plexus and heart and the thymus, and it exudes the electromagnetic field generator and blood pressure control and immune system. And then there is the third chakra, the solar plexus, the personal power, self-will. And then, of course, the plexus and glands that it's associated with, it's the pancreas and solar plexus, which is responsible for digestion and assimilation of into the muscles. And then there is the second chakra, which is emotional balance, sexuality, and procreation, which is affiliated with lumbar plexus, sex organs, and adrenals. And then that's related to, or the functions are sexual functions, elimination, and water regulation. And then at the base, the level 1 chakra is survival, physical needs, and tribal association. It's where we belong, right? And that's where we have lumbar and coccygeal plexus and adrenals, or adrenals, right? And then it controls the functions. Respective functions are adrenals, fight or flight response, and bones and skeletal structures. Okay, so here's a breakdown of what you can expect that we go over. In month 1 is all about physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual alignment principles. We start with the timeless wisdom. You'll learn all about basic anatomy, introduction to the practice of the alkaline methodology. We have probably over 100 poses that you'll be learning in yourself, as well as you have to teach it. And in month 2, you'll learn all about central nervous system, the foundations. You'll learn about autonomic nervous system, the cervical, thoracic, and lumbar anatomy, core and postural muscles and activation. Month 3 is all about applied anatomy and movement through the practice of yoga and how that applies. Anatomy and alignment of the spine will be discussed, the upper body and the lower body in detail using the anatomical models and video tutorials. There's going to be anatomical positions and planes and terminology that I want you to master. And then you're going to learn all about motor learning theories and the alkaline success method so that you are set up for success. Month 4 is all about teaching skills, yoga therapeutics, and precautions and contradictions or contraindications. Month 5 starts the transformational psychology work, which involve the subconscious mind, the conscious mind, as well as all the coaching tools that you'll be learning. Month 6, we go into the modernized functional medicine, where we start with the HPA axes, gut-brain axes, and dietary intervention supplements and testing. In month 7, you learn all about inflammation, the immune brain axes, and epigenomics. Month 8 is all about metabolism, detoxification, and elimination, nutrition-oriented physical exam, and how you can do that, and then putting it all together. Month 9, you'll get all the intake forms, how to do initial assessments, physical assessments, and how to provide therapeutic interventions. Because here's what's missing in our industry. It's all about the doing, right? And so we provide you with coaching calls bi-weekly, meaning every other week we have coaching calls that we come together. A lot of the students are loving the program. They ask questions in private Facebook group where I either go over it in our coaching call or I go live if they need the answers to something right away. And most of them are selling right now. They're just helping and they're implementing right now, making a business right now. And they're only in month 3, guys. So I'm not all about wait until 12 months. You just get going. You start to fail ahead of time to kind of get the experience under your belt. We have a lot of smart discussions. There's mentoring and accountability that's there. And then in month 10, it's all about you learning what your entrepreneurial identity is to really know what the inner voice is saying to you. You learn about mindset productivity, all about positioning and pricing of your programs and services, and how to set up your business legally, all the things that you don't even know what to do, right? So I kind of included it so you are clear. In month 11, you're going to learn all about profit plan and what the profit generation looks like. You're going to learn about sleight of mouth foundations. It's about talking to convince them, to really coach them, as well as to persuade them to do the thing, to change their shift for the better, to go from suffering to healing. And then I teach you how to do thought reversals and question everything that you thought you believed, and then reverse those thoughts to really think about it in a different way, which is going to be revelatory. Month 12 is all about learning how to team build, because as you grow, you're going to need a team under you. And then you're going to learn all the resources on the platforms that I've tested and tried and I recommend. There's going to be list building strategies to make sure you're obtaining all the emails and how to go about doing that. There's going to be face group creation and management and how to do that, like I'm doing here. And then social media marketing is huge. Facebook still is the way to go. And I need you guys to really know how to get your patients in through the door. And looking at marketing and sales as a return on investment. It's an investment, it's not an expense, right? Fast action bonus number 1, should you sign up, not only will you get it at $10,000 if paid in full by the end of business day tomorrow, and that's off the table. Leslie knows it's a little higher than that. But you must sign up. Oh, the dates are wrong. Sorry, you guys. This is from the last time. Must sign up by, we're going to give you until Friday of next week. So I'll make sure that Leslie clicks here and she says that she kind of dropped the link to go and learn more about the certification. The fast bonus action number 1 is 2 one-on-one coaching sessions with me to get clarity on 2 of the following, okay? You pick 2. 1 can be limiting beliefs and stories that keep you stuck. And then the other one you can choose is personal functional medicine prescription. Like if you're struggling with your own health, what would I recommend? And then the other thing is yoga mastery. I can give you a personalized yoga session on how you can improve. And then impact business coaching, nailing your sales funnel. I teach you that. It's valued at $7.99, right? Fast action bonus number 2, if you sign up by end of business day tomorrow, or this will be included, the $10,000 is if you sign up by end of business day tomorrow, but this will be available through next Friday. Functional breakthrough formula is something that I recorded. It's a mini training where you'll get a blueprint for a full physical and postural assessment and treatment to use right in your practice right now. It's valued at $199. And then the third bonus you get is free virtual yoga membership for 1 year. We call this the Healing Inner Circle. And you have access to live healing yoga and self-healing meditation classes that are recorded, as well as 4 different classes a week. So Mondays, I have yoga. I have Wednesday morning yoga, Wednesday afternoon meditation, and Thursday morning yoga as well. So 4 times a week, live classes valued at $828. And that's what you can expect from the program. I know that you guys might have a lot of questions. This program is really different. I know many of you guys are watching this over and over again, and many people that have signed up really do recognize how this program is uniquely designed. It's not just a certification. We don't end there. Not only do we give you all the tools to tie it all together, but also it gives you all the business acumen that you need, because I've had to go, and again, it's me piecing together all the things, right? I'm constantly looking at all the things, but I wish I had it in one program where it not only gives me the certification, but it really would have prevented me from, having to waste all the money and time and grief to do all the things. This is going to be also an opportunity for you to be a licensee holder through the alkaline methodology to utilize all the alkaline method. The work is already done. It's a turnkey opportunity. After a year of me witnessing how you do, you will potentially have the opportunity to practice alkaline methodology and buy into the licensing program at the end. But for that, you have to apply, and I have to get to know you a bit better, because at that point, you represent the brand and you have all the things that you can use that's already turnkey for you. These are things that I included, and I've already thought ahead of the things because that's what I wanted, right? I've had to spend so much money all over the place. Not only that, get frustrated in trying to tie it all together. So these are all available for you. Isara asks, once you're graduated, what do you become? Okay, so you're going to become certified. So I've already done I've already trademarked through the national USPTO, which means I've already registered the brand. I've already hired an attorney to create a license for this brand and the certification. So it's a certification. So you become FYMCP, Functional Yoga Medicine Certified Practitioner, okay? And because the first 4 months is heavily yoga, some of you guys are 200 hours, some of you guys are 500 hours. There's going to be a bridge program for the 200 hours. For those of you who don't have a yoga background, you get Yoga Alliance 200-hour yoga teacher, RYT, which is Registered Yoga Teacher, and FYMCP. So it's a dual certification that you end up with. So lots of letters behind your name. But if you do have the 200-hour already, you become then 500-hour through the RYT plus FYMCP. Now, if you go through and you're just doing the 200-hour, there is a bridge program that's off mentioned, and Leslie can tell you more about that. But you can do a bridge program to become the ERYT or RYT 500 level to do that, as well as an opportunity to be a holder of the license and the brand. So all these things were thought out, and I've kind of created it as the gap in the market to provide all the things turnkey for you, so that you don't have to go through what I have to go through so painstakingly. So that's what's available to you. If you have any questions and you feel like, oh my gosh, this might be the perfect thing that I need, I would highly recommend that you get with my team and ask them some questions to see if you're the right fit to get on a discovery call with me to ask me any questions that you might have. For me, by far, it's the best program out there. As somebody who's been highly committed to education, and I still remain highly committed to my education, it's probably the most comprehensive program out there. And I wish this is the one I had way back when I started. And this is what's available for you. And the price is, you cannot beat it. And I guarantee you, we've been raising the price and it's going to keep going up. So I highly recommend, if you feel like it's resonant, reach out to my team, get on a call. I'd be more than happy to talk with you. And remember, the special pricing at $10,000 flat, it's the last opportunity through end of tomorrow, is going to go away after that. So I would highly, highly recommend, if you've been like following me for a while and you know this is the time, this is going to be the greatest investment that's going to provide you with the return on investment forever. So highly recommend that you sign up. And you know what, you guys, we're still not done tomorrow. There's going to be a lot of things that I want you to refer to in your book. Really think about these questions that I included about who your ideal customer avatar is, who do you want to serve, and understanding that you yourself are probably your ideal customer avatar. So get in the mind and really explore what the frustration factors on your journeys were, right? Your struggles make you primed to understand and transform it. Your struggles make you primed to understand the transformation that's required to go from point A to point B. You are your ideal customer avatar, right? So I want you to ask yourselves, what struggles did you have to overcome? And what do you wish you had when you were struggling with your issues, right? These are the deep questions that I want you to ask yourselves, and really go through the workbook to ask yourselves those questions. And I would really love it if you can share some of the insights and takeaways that you took away from this, so that I can know what you took away, right? So tomorrow is probably going to be the best session yet, because I'm going to be talking about the ultimate integration utilizing the FYM methodology. And I'm going to sort of put the pieces together for you and show you how all the pieces come together to make whole, like all the integration principles, so that you can finally see the bigger picture of your puzzle. So again, I want to take a moment to really sincerely thank you for being here, for spending this time as we look ahead. And I hope you can join me tomorrow at 11. And again, reach out to my team, get your questions answered, and then get on a call with me. I'd be more than happy to talk with you about the program. Thank you so much, guys, and I'll see you soon.